everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shakes and Fidget free to play playthrough. As promised in the last episode, today we're gonna go through the um, progress made over the weekend with the really great events which happened, and I hope that you will like this content. Don't forget to like and share this video, comment below if you want to see more of something or less of something, and don't forget to subscribe for more of this content. As you can see, we are level 89. This, of course, takes also a couple of days after the weekend event. However, we have made a really great progress over the weekend because we have been using some shrooms to capitalize on the exceptional XP event which happened over the weekend. We are a bit, we're gonna struggle a bit with the mount because we have 21 shrooms and we have only one more shroom which is guaranteed. This is 22, so we are gonna miss 3 shrooms. In a worst case scenario, if we really don't get any more shrooms, we might take the 30% mount. There is still chance that we might get shrooms from Dr. Abavuvu or from the Wheel of Fortune, and there is also a possibility that we would get some shrooms from the quests themselves. So in theory, we might have enough shrooms to be able to get the 25% mount, 50%, sorry, 50% mount. When it comes to the progress, as you can see, we're level 89. I think I got like 2 levels or 3 levels in the last few days, but still we were more than level 80 after the weekend events. We got some really, really nice items over the weekend coming from the other event which happened, which is the exception Epic Quest Extravaganza. And here I would like immediately to correct myself from the previous episode. Maybe someone would already comment, but um, the explanation which I provided for the Epic Quest Extravaganza was actually incorrect because this is the old logic of the event. So the old logic of the event was after 100 thirst you have a guaranteed epic, and then after usage of 300 thirst you have, or the last quest for the 300 thirst gives you a guaranteed epic. However, this has been changed so that you get the first epic after the first beer you drink on the second quest after the first beer. So, for example, you can spend 60 of your thirst. You don't have to spend 100, and you drink a beer. Then you do a quest, and on the next quest, you would be guaranteed an epic. You can also spend all 100 thirst and then drink a beer. You can drink 5 beers. It's irrelevant. As soon as you drink at least one beer, the next the second quest in the line will give you a guaranteed epic. Same works with the 300 thirst. So once you drink 10 beers, and I here emphasize 10 beers, so not 300 thirst, but 10 beers, because in theory with an enchant you can have 11 beers. So with a 10 beers, the first, um, the second quest after the 10th beer will give you an epic. So for example, you can, and this is a great strategy for you, so you can use 9 beers to level up and only then have the 10th beer, which would give you an epic. But since you used 9 beers to, let's say, rush the levels, you can then use the 10th beer just to get the epic as maximum level as possible at that point in time. I actually did not use this. I messed up a couple of times, even though I was so close to level. I did not think about this. So I was always drinking 10 beers and I would get epic immediately on the second quest. And I still have like 80 thirst to spend. And then I would level 2 times. So the epic which I got was, well, old already. But back onto the topic. So this is just a correction of how the event works. Back onto the topic, as you can see, we got a bunch of epics. Some of these actually come from the dungeons. I cannot now pinpoint which one come from dungeons, which ones come from quests from the epic quest extravaganza. However, just to show you some of the really good items which I got. So the first one which I wanted to show you is this chest here, which I got, I think, from a quest. And then also I got one of these 2 weapons, or maybe both. Um, in the meantime, I actually got even better weapons. So It was really funny. I had, if you remember from the previous episode, I had a normal weapon with dexterity and constitution. Then I got this epic weapon, and since it does not have a gem, I wanted in this episode to try and simulate to see which one is better, because this one did give a bit more damage, and it did give constitution and luck and dexterity a bit more of all of the stats. However, it did not have socket, and that one had socket, which means it had a gem which gives me like 300, almost 300 dexterity. So question is which one is better. But while waiting for the episode, I got yet another epic weapon, and this one has all stats and a bit more damage. So the question is which one of these two is better. But then I got this one, which again gives more of 3 stat, but less damage in average comparison to this one. And then just yesterday, I got this one, which is even more dex, even more damage, but I lose constitution and luck, and I gain a gem slot. So I think this one is actually the best because I have more dex, I have more damage, and I have a socket, but I really would like to simulate how much more damage this really is. I mean, we can easily check the damage. It says 53, so if I change it, it would be 65. So by damage only, it's much more. However, here I have 732,000 of health and 22 crit. If I remove it, I have less than 20 crit and I have like 100,000 less hit points and 5% less crit. So question is which one of these two better when I do sort of the calculation for the dungeons. And this one I would really like to test. Then I also got this epic, but and one more neck actually. But unfortunately, none of them had a socket. So this one I received, I think, in the dungeon today. It's all stat. This one is much better because it has 3 stats. But since it does not have socket, it's just okay-ish. Like I would rather like to have a socket than to have 24 of these 3 stats more. So this is when it comes to the progress of the character. When it comes to dungeons, this is like in the last episode, I think I had this one, and this one being farmed, and then I unlocked 2 more, and then I closed these two, and this one I'm already on a level 10. So I really was pushing the dungeons as soon as I got the weapon. Um, Even the previous one which I had, and then when I got these 3, like the dungeons were just falling down one by one. It was so fast. In the guild, no changes in the upgrades. However, we did get the new requirements. They require 10-10. However, they also require Fortress on level 10, and I have it on level 11 already, and 12 I will have by the time of the expiration of the requirements. So I think I'm fine because um, sort of I could somehow do it, let's say, level it out, saying, okay, I will not upgrade the stats, but I have Hall of Knights even higher. So I think it would be okay. So back to the fortress, I have been upgrading. This one is topped up. The Hall of Knights is topped up, and now I just need the more wood to run the fortress upgrade to level 12. I also upgraded Smithy a bit, and also the warriors or the soldiers, so that I can farm even more resources. So more or less that's it when it comes to the progress update. I'm really satisfied in how it is going. Um, Personally, to for information, actually, I used approximately 25, 26 shrooms um, in total to get to this level. So I 2 of the weekends of Friday and Saturday I used 10 shrooms each day. And then the third one, I used some additional shrooms, even though I suggested not to do it in between 100 and 300. But there is a reason for this because I did unlock pets and I did some shrooms. Uh, well, again, to double down first on the experience, and second, to unlock the specific pets which I need to push the fights further on and unlock other pets and similar. So from that point of view, I used a bit of shrooms on that as well. I would not recommend it personally because the first couple of pets here are guaranteed to drop in a specific location. You just need to wait either night or day. They are not tied to a specific day of the week. They are not tied to a specific holiday or anything. So there is no reason to rush it. However, since it was anyway an XP event, it was a bonus sort of to get the pets and also get a lot of experience. So this is the reason why I use some pets, but then now we are sorry, shrooms, but now we are struggling with having the shrooms for the amount. If I did not use it, I would for sure have for mount and even like 2 or 3 shrooms left. But it is how it is. I sort of made a mistake on this behalf, but hopefully it would be much let's say hopefully a luck will be on my side and I will get some shrooms um, to buy the mount. The next thing which we unlocked is actually the witch. You can access the witch by double clicking the magic shop or clicking the book here. So either clicking one more time on magic shop, you can see that we have the witch. I will explain how the witch works in the one of the next episodes, but just that you are aware that we unlock the witch. It is unlocked at level 66, which is also actually good because we get an achievement for that, and that's actually quite good. Same goes actually for pets, because you get an achievement to when you unlock the pets as well. Oddly enough, I now cannot find the the achievement for the witch, but nonetheless, maybe yeah. So pet, it's here. But it seems that there is no witch achievement except this one. But this is of course later on. And actually now when I was moving over, I also saw one more thing which I unlocked and I did not mention it. It's the alter ego. So I completed the magic mirror. You can see now there is nothing on the screen on the my avatar um, profile picture. So this means we have the mirror unlocked, and now you can see if I now start, for example, here the city guard, I can do arena, which I was not away. It was not possible to do it before, which is now really great as I don't have to put 1 hour of work and then every 1 hour do the dungeon and do the arena. So it's quite good thing. And last thing which I actually wanted is that we go through these weapons and try to assess which one of these is the best one. So what I will do is what I was showing in the previous episode is how the SF tools works when you want to test a weapon. So I already logged in to the SF tools. I already loaded my character with the current weapon. So if I now simulate all of the open dungeons, it's 14.3, 12.50, and 11.2. I will actually save these percentages for later. So save as. It's not that important. You can just write them down or similar, but since I really would like to compare them properly, I will also have them now. Now what I would do is I would change the weapon. So the first weapon, this was the first weapon which we were testing. So this Kilomatic 5000. Now this one is for sure worse, so it doesn't make sense to test it even. This one has more damage, less of the other stats, but more strength and intelligence. So let's try this one. As always, when you change something on your character, you need to relog. One thing to note that the relog also now works on the account level. So you no longer put the server information, but your account and your password. And once you log in, you would get a selection screen for all of your characters connected to this account. And we will select the one which is our free to play. And then when we load it, it's now reflecting the new weapon. Let's do the new calculation so you can see that this one is actually quite better because it was 14% here, now it's 21%. So it's much better weapon. Um, I'll save this percentage as well. And then the last one which we have, save. And the last weapon which we have is the one, is it? No, it's actually, I'm not sure if it's the last one. Let me just check. So the last weapon which we have is this one, which gives only the dexterity and a bit of more damage, but does not give other stats at all, and does give one socket. So now there is a two possibilities which we can do. We can either socket the dexterity or the constitution. If we socket the constitution, we would then cap the difference of the constitution, but we will still have the difference of the luck and strength into intelligence. And the second option is to put dexterity one, which consider it will double. You can see here that we have now 170 more dexterity. If we double it with 154, this is like 300, 470 more dexterity. So if we put this one, it would be much more damage. I would not put the gem because I want to test the weapon first, and if it's better, then I would gem it. However, I would account for the gem itself. So, as shown previously, what we will do is we would again log in to account for the new weapon. Yeah, in the previous episode, I showed you that you can just adjust um, the stats manually. However, the point is that if I would do this for three different weapons, it would just take too long. It's much easier just to relog every time. So now it's the new weapon, and the gem which I would socket is 154. And when you socket a gem into weapon, you get double. This means 308. So what I would just do is I would increase the dexterity for 308, and this would be 4, 4, 5. And now I would calculate, and you can see it's 26, 24, and 20. So it's much more with these ones, like 1 in 4 chance to win. So from this point of view, I would definitely take the new weapon, even though those other ones are epic. Um, this one just makes most sense. So um, I even have this better gem, so I would socket this one. And now it's much better. And let's try a dungeon 124. It's the infected brown bear. We did not win, but it's a 20% chance to win, so we were just unlucky. So that's exactly how you test different weapons, and then all of these we can actually sell. And like this one, it's 1,000, nothing. This one is 15,000, and this one is 5,000. So we have even more gold, and we can invest because we lost a lot of constitution. We can invest it a bit to constitution and a bit to luck. You don't have to invest to luck, but since it's quite cheap to invest in the beginning, I would just invest some gold here as well, just to have it. I should have done this before I did the dungeon, but it does not matter. It's not a problem at all. Uh, Actually, with this increase of the stats, I would really like to see how does the SF tools look like now. It was like 26% or something like that. So just quickly to check this as well, and then um, we will hopefully in the next tries manage to kill these three bosses, which we currently have these three enemies easily enough. So it's like 35%. It's really great. So in this case scenario, and actually you can see here, this is a great showcase as well. So the biggest chance to win is against King Sauros, and he's a scout. And the second best is the infected bear in the 31% in the toxic tree. So if I go back to the game, and I think I mentioned this in the previous one, why the SF tool is important, um, you can see that the lowest level is actually the infected brown bear. But due to the how, let's say, warrior works against scout, I have lower chance to win against infected brown bear, which is 6 levels lower than King Saurus. And this is the 35%. So I should have actually attacked him instead of him, but not a problem. And then tomorrow, when I would be doing the dungeon, I would actually try to level first to 90, and then I would attack him because I have a guaranteed epic. So I might actually continue with these two, and only then I would do this one because it's a guaranteed epic, and also this one because it's a guaranteed epic. So I would not push this dragon here, and I would not push King Sauros until I get the 90 level. And I'm back. I actually forgot to go through the um, weekend events which are coming. So just quickly, we have 4 events coming this week, and out of the three, 2 are actually quite good for us. So the first one is the Epic Shopping Spree Extravaganza. You need a lot of shrooms to be able to do anything on this. In general, this increases the chance of getting epic items in the shops. You would need to shuffle a lot of times. There is a still chance that in the midnight when it refreshes that you would get an epic, but even if it refreshes and you get an epic, in most of the cases it costs shrooms, 15 shrooms, so we will not have those to buy. Then there is a tidy toilet time. We would need 100 level 100 for the toilet, plus getting the key, which is not 100% chance of getting from quests. Um, so it's not relevant for us. It increases the amount of mana, doubles the amount of mana which you get by dropping the items into toilet. But then the second and the third one are actually okay. The Frenzy Festival is an event which is connected with the blacksmith. We don't have it unlocked, but we are actually really, really close on getting it. And if we do get it, this would enable us to, let's say, increase the amount of splinters and metal or whatever it is, the blacksmith resources, which we get from the items, because we could then dismantle 15 up to 15 items, and then we could uh, sort of get a lot of resources as a free to play player. We would need probably spend some gold on getting the items from the shops in order to dismantle them, but probably it would make sense because it would enable us to do the upgrades on our weapons or items in general. The last is the Epic Good Luck Extravaganza. For this one, there are actually 2 additional sources of epic items. One is the Dr. Abavuvu, and the other one is the dice game with this guy here, the shady guy. Unfortunately, the dice game unlocks only with the tower, if I'm not mistaken. And for the tower, we are quite far away from the tower, so it's impossible. However, for the Dr. Abavuvu, we actually have 20 free rolls already piled up, and I will think about doing it. Would still maybe wait to either get the wheel 2.0, or that we have the boost on the resources for the um, fortress. Um, but I will think about maybe doing some. Maybe I get an epic item. So these are the events which are coming. Nothing too major for us. As I said, maybe the two in the middle, the bottom one, if we manage to get the level to unlock the blacksmith, and then the second one is the potential chance to get an epic from Dr. Abavuvo. All in all, that's it for this episode, and see you in the next one.